Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the final tutorial here for Mega Man 8-bit mapping and Mega Man 8-bit deathmatch using GZ Doom Builder. My name is Alex Mendez. Some people call me Melinda, some people call me Bluebrawl, but that's all irrelevant. What's relevant is that you're here today to learn about the tips, tricks, and gimmicks I use in some of my maps to produce good maps. Something like that. Well, mainly I'm here to teach you some of the ways you can make your map interesting, so ways that you can produce new situations, produce new ideas, make cool maps, that sort of thing, without wasting so much time. Now, as you can see by the table of contents here, we've got a lot of content to cover, so I'm going to be somewhat brief with some of these ideas, because usually all you need to do to implement these ideas in your map is just simply adding some small actor hits something item into the map and then designating a script and designating a sector tag. So it's all pretty simple scripts I'm going to be using. I won't be running through every script, but I will be, explaining, how some scripts work, why they work well, and what you could do with these scripts, so that you get ideas for what you can do with your map. Now, as you can see right here, I've already designed the layout that will be showing examples of the different concepts I'm going to be running through today. So we see Windpads, we see a section for high gravity, section for low gravity right there, a section for snowboards, a section for waveboards, waveboats, section for stacked 3D floors, a section for fire traps, and a section for oil pits right there. So we're just going to get right to it. You could use the timestamps in the description to look at whatever concept you're most interested in, and I will promise to be as descriptive and helpful with the talking about these concepts as I can. Now, obviously, there's concepts I've left out that are still in the core, and my best recommendation for you is to simply go into Sled, export the map, open it up in GZDB, and see how it works. See what items it needs to activate, see what scripts it needs to work, and try to get a feeling for how that script works so that you can understand and possibly learn to make your own script or modify the script to your own liking. So, let's see here. First concept here. It's a bit of a time saver. Now, as we could see in the layout, we've got 4 sectors that basically have the same properties. It's got the same floor texture, they've got the same ceiling texture, they've got the same floor height and ceiling height, and they both have the same tag. All have the same tag of 0. Now, usually if you want to modify all those sectors at once, you would have to go and highlight them one by one. But you could save yourself some time by highlighting all the sectors once and then hitting the J key to join the sectors together. And what that does, as you can see here, is that when you highlight one of the sectors, you highlight all the sectors, and when you can change one of the sectors, you end up changing all the sectors. So if I actually decided to change the floor texture here to WinFat 5, Y to FinFat 5, you can see all the sectors reflect that change. And if I wanted to change the height, the floor height of the sectors, all I would need to do is just select one of the sectors and scroll my wheel up or scroll my wheel down. It's relatively simple, and it's relatively convenient for editing some multiple sectors at once. Okay, good. Now, if you wanted to edit line depths, though, you still would have to do that one by one. See, simply selecting one line depth doesn't select all line depths for you. That's because each line depth can still have its own properties. I guess if you wanted to, I think you could group them together, but let's see here. Yeah, I think you need the G button for that, though. No, that doesn't work. No, you can't join them either. Yeah, I guess you still have to highlight them on your own and edit them. But for floors and ceilings, this is a neat trick to know. And now you might be asking yourself why we have this ugly astro texture plastering the walls everywhere across this map. Why can't we use something prettier? Well, if you wanted to do something prettier, I imagine you would want to select every line depth one by one until you had all the wall textures aligned, and then right click so you could edit them all at once. Well, a way to save time on that is by hitting F3 and using the Find and Replace tool. Now, as you can see here, the Find and Replace tool helps you find objects with any texture, any flat, based on anything basically, and letting you replace it with anything you want. So let's see here. I'm going to look for the texture I want to remove, ASB Wall 1. If I hit find, it's going to show all the instances it pops up in. So as you can see, all the red lines tell you where that texture is being used. If I wanted to replace that texture though, I'd check this box right here that says replace with, and then I look for a new texture to replace the texture with. Now it's recommended that you don't use any of the used textures here, because let's say I wanted to replace ASB Wall 1 with Constant 5, and then later on I wanted to replace Constant 5 with another texture, or replace Cloud Floor with another texture. You might end up replacing textures where you don't want them to be replaced, which is kind of a problem. Okay? Alright, so we can go and look for available textures down here and get an idea for what we want. So we want another wall texture. We could just type in wall here into the filter, and it gives us some choices. We could also just comb through the like 4,368 textures available for this map, for this game, to see what kind of texture we'd like. So for convenience sake, we're going to go with something somewhat pretty. Let's see here. I guess grenade wall right here will do. So hit the replace button, and it replaces all the textures rather quickly. Gem wall. It's not bad, but it's not really much of an improvement. If you want to undo all the changes, all you got to do is hit Control-Z, and there you go. And if you still want to replace this texture really badly, just hit F3 again and look for a new texture to replace the ugly texture with. So give it another shot. Let's say we want grenade wall 4. Okay, hit close. Go back to visual mode, and we see it's not really good, so we're going to hit Control-Z and undo all those changes. Really convenient tip, really simple, and it helps me when I'm trying to replace multiple textures at once. And if you're a very aesthetic-heavy mapper like I am, this tool is very much a godsend. Now, stacking a 3D floor. In the first tutorial, I talked about how you can create 3D floors, but did you know that you can actually stack 3D floors on top of each other? And this can have its own uses. So I'm going to show you right here. Give these two sectors different tags. I'm going to give the center texture here a tag of maybe 30, 31 will do, and give this texture here a tag of 32. Now, I can actually give this a tag of maybe 159, 156, whatever, basically. What matters is that I give this a distinct tag that's different from all the other tags in the app. Now, if you want to find what tags are being used, all you need to do that is actually go here to the Tag Explorer, and it tells you what sectors have tags on them. And if you click and check this box here, it will change the map view so that you could see what sector has which tag. So this sector number 8, it says right here, has a tag of 25, and that's for the 3D floor. Really convenient so that you keep track of what tags you're using and what tags you haven't used. I guess you could also check this box too, so that selects the sector on click. So really convenient. And I guess you can, I think you can highlight multiple. No, you can't. But it's really nice, I think, if you want to look at what sectors you're using for what tag. And we're going to make 2 3D floors here so that we can stack one on top of the other. And stacking 3D floors is a relatively simple process, but I wanted to produce an example to give you an idea of what it could be used for. So I'm going to say, let's see, we want this to have ceiling height of 128, floor height of 96. We want this one to have floor height of 256 and a ceiling height of 220, floor height of 224. Give these distinct textures here, and if you remember from the first tutorial, you'll know that the ceiling texture acts as the floor texture for a 3D floor, and the floor texture acts as the ceiling floor for a 3D floor. So it's pretty tricky to wrap your head around, but you'll get used to it. Now, We're going to turn them into 3D floors right here using action 160, sector set 3D floor, give them a tag, sector tag 31, you need to give them a side texture, looks like this. Okay. And as you can see, both 3D floors point to tag number sector with the tag with 31, which is the center sector right here. Now we want to give sector 16 its own 3D floor too. To do that, we're going to do the same, repeat the same process. Section 160, sector set 3D floor, give it a sector tag of 16. As you can see, that 3D floor is floating to that sector and that sector, which means you will have 6. I messed that up. That was my bad. That was a boo-boo right there. That was not the 3D floor I wanted to use for sector tag 16. I wanted to use this 3D floor right here. And now we should see the results we want here. Okay. There we go. Set a texture too, so it looks pretty. Ta-da! You might be asking yourself, well, what kind of use does this have? Well, imagine, you want to make a map with multiple levels, multiple floors even. Well, this is pretty simple. So you could go under here to get an item, or you could climb up this path, get an item here, or you can climb up even further, you can get an item up here. Pretty simple stuff. Okay. Now, a word of warning though, multiple 3D floors will slow down your computer because rendering 3D floors is a lot more computer intensive than rendering regular floors. This is a result of Xandrome's inefficiency, or I don't know, it's just a restriction that all mappers have to abide by, so that you don't spam your map with multiple 3D floors in every single direction. It causes computers to slow down eventually, so you want to use 3D floors sparingly. Only use them when you feel like you need to use them. Okay, good. Now we're going to talk about low gravity and high gravity. Now, low gravity is seen in maps such as Starman, Gravity Man, etc. I'm sure Ivory's made a few custom maps with it, with low gravity. I know other mappers love to use low gravity sometimes. And the reason people use low gravity is because it allows the player to jump around and navigate massive vertical gaps with ease. And so, to show what I'm talking about right here, you could actually theoretically jump from this low floor here to this floor here to this floor here in no time flat. With low gravity, of course. But you ask yourself, how do you establish low gravity? Well, to do that, you simply highlight all the sectors you want to have low gravity, and you look in the properties bar for the gravity parameter. Now, gravity strength is inversely proportional to jump strength. So what I mean by that is, if the gravity is low, then your jumps will be high. If the gravity is high, your jumps will be low. So, let's see here. The core uses values between 0.2 and 0.4 for low gravity. I'm going to stick to 0.4. And so what that does is that it causes your character, allows your character to jump 2.5 times higher than normal, because 1 divided by 0.4 equals 2.5. So we're going to set the gravity to 0.4 for this section here. I'm going to walk all the way over there. And just to demonstrate, when you jump, don't jump very high. But in this low gravity room right here, jump even higher than before. You can even reach massive heights like this platform right here. With normal gravity, you wouldn't have been able to do that. But with low gravity, as you can see, it's a piece of cake. Okay. So, now for a less common trick, but a trick that's important nonetheless. High gravity basically changes the context of certain sectors in certain pits. So, you could see here in a normal gravity situation, which I'm going to walk through right now, jumping around that room shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, you could use the stairs to get into this pit, but you could just as easily jump in and out of this pit and jump across this pit with relative ease. there's no problem with this. Just the same, I could use these ladders. I mean, could use these steps, but instead I could just jump onto this platform right here with no problem. Now, why would I want to set all this to high gravity? The best answer I can give is it's a good tool for manipulating the flow of the map. And I'm saying this very slowly because I want you to understand flow is one of the most crucial aspects of any custom map you could ever build. You want your players to experience what you want them to experience, to go through new situations and experience new ideas and new concepts that keep them engaged, that keep them thinking, that keep them on their feet, and keep them entertained. So I'm going to set this gravity to 2. Now 1 divided by 2, it's 1/2. So what does that mean? Your jumps will be half as strong as before. So we go into the set room again. Now I can't jump out of this pit. And now I can't jump across this pit either. I have to use the steps. I can't jump out of this platform either. I have to use the steps. You direct the player to follow your design. You direct the player to follow this certain path. And why would you want them to do that? Well, to introduce new concepts. So for example here, let's say I have a powerful weapon down here. Pharaoh Shot is a very powerful weapon right now. And let's say we put in health capsules in the corners here. So small health. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it in this corner too. Put it in that corner too. Under normal gravity conditions, getting all these items shouldn't be a problem. But with high gravity, you now have to think a little bit more about grabbing the health and grabbing the weapon. Anyone outside the pit can aim down and shoot at you while you're inside the pit. So you have to ask yourself, is the risk of getting caught in the pit worth the reward of getting a powerful weapon? Simple risk and reward here. Same deal with the health capsules. You're putting yourself into a corner. If anyone catches you here, you're basically a sitting duck. Even if it's just for half a second, people can take advantage of that. Especially if they have a powerful weapon like Pharaoh Shot. They just aim down, shoot at you in the corner, and you get chunked for a lot of damage. So you ask yourself, is it risk worth the reward? Is it worth taking the time away from the firefights that could be happening over here, take this unique path, and grab whatever's over here? Just the same, since I'm following a set path, people know where I'm going to be, so they can anticipate my next move, and they can cut me off right before I get the item. Again, half a second, right? But in half a second, players can react very quickly to the situation and punish you for whatever you're doing. That is basically the quintessential essence of good flow in a map. Is you give every section a purpose, every room a purpose, every item a purpose, every idea has a meaning to it. It's not just put there for the sake of being put there. It's put there to give new perspectives to the players, keep them engaged, keep them entertained, and keep them on their feet. Okay? Alright. Now, we go with platform assistance. I've placed the platform assistance down here. I'll give you a quick rundown of what each platform assistance does before getting into the interactive props. So, we start in the wrong room. Okay, that's where we want to be. I'm going to move our player spawn over here. And we see here these 4 items. Rush Coil, Rush Jet, Item 2, Item 1. So to give you a rundown of what each item will do, I'll give you a simple demonstration. Item 1 generates a platform right before your eyes that you can jump on and use to get to higher ground. It's pretty simple, right? But obviously, it doesn't take you very high. So that's where an item, like Rush Coil comes along. Rush Coil can quickly get you to higher ground simply by stepping on top of Rush. So like that, I missed, but you get the idea. Item 2 is not for vertical leaps, it's more for horizontal gaps. So, As you can see here, go over this large gap in the map. It's just the same. If I want to cross this gap right here, just use item 2. Rush Jet. Very last item here. Very last platform assistant. It's very... I would recommend you use it very sparingly. Because what Rush Jet can do for you, give you full control of your movement. You can ignore the effects of high gravity here. You can get up to this platform with relative ease. You can even cross over this large water space and not be hurt. Of course, it doesn't last forever, right? But it's a very powerful tool that people shouldn't be given so easily. It should be a reward that comes with a suitable risk. Okay? Alright. Now, let's move on to interactive props. The first interactive prop I'm going to show you is Count Bomb. To place a Count Bomb on the map, you look for Count Bomb here in the filter bar. See it right here. This is an item that's used in maps such as MM7 Burst Man and MM8 Grenade Man to basically construct temporary paths. And by that I mean one-way paths that can get you up, but only last for a few seconds before being destroyed. So as you can see here, the item is glued to the ground. That doesn't look very pretty, and it doesn't really help us get to the higher ground we want to go to. So what we can do is we can left-click the item, scroll all the way up, or just a little bit. It scrolls up in increments of 8 pixels, so we're going to set the pixel height to about, I think 16 pixels is sufficient. I'm going to test it, show how it works. So you jump onto the platform, and you immediately get 3 seconds to get off the platform, unless you want to suffer explosive damage. Obviously, you don't want to do that. Obviously, the only reason you've gotten the Count Bomb in the first place is because you wanted to get to higher ground. Or maybe you could stack these in a row and form like a temporary bridge that explodes right behind the player as they walk across the bridge. So that's just some of the uses you could generate for Count Bombs. Now, the next interactive prop I'm going to show you works a bit, well, it's a platform. It's called Plant Platform. It's seen in maps such as MM6 Plant Man, and I think only that map, because I've yet to see it, more custom maps use it. And what this item is for, as you can see here, requires you to shoot the item to activate the platform. So we're going to give it a height of 40, and I'm going to demonstrate how it works. Now usually, it works similar, its uses are similar to Count Bomb. It gets you to higher ground or to a spot that was hard to reach before, but only for a temporary amount of time. It's only active for a temporary amount of time. So you shoot the platform, comes flat, it opens up, you can jump right on top of it and get to higher ground. But it only lasts for a few seconds. So as you can see here, if I stand on this for too long, I don't suffer any explosive damage, but I do fall through the platform when I fall down. So it's a bit more lenient, I guess, than Count Bomb, but also isn't very distinct from Count Bomb. So it's any use you can think of for Count Bomb, you could probably think of for Plant Platform. The next interactive prop is Shadow Platform. It's like Plant Platform, except it doesn't need to be activated. That's a benefit. We're going to put it right here. Now, there's a couple of drawbacks to using this thing. First and foremost, you need to give it an angle and also a significant height. So we're going to put it right there, 48 pixels in the air. So I'm going to give it an angle. So you're going to see here, I want it to be facing us. So we could set the angle to 180 degrees, or we could set the angle to 0 degrees. It doesn't really matter. I think it's more convenient to set to 180. So that's facing toward us, more or less. Okay? Good. To demonstrate how it works, all you simply have to do is jump onto the platform. But you have to jump off as quickly as you get on, because otherwise you'll fall through. So, going to demonstrate how it works right now. Jump on the platform, get off. As you can see, the platform splits apart very quickly, and then after a short period, it reassembles, or it gets back together. So, okay, I was gonna make a really mean joke, but it's not the time for that. just know breaking up is not something I'm forward to. That was a weird way of wording it, but anyways, you get on the platform really quickly, and if you jump off as quickly as you got on, you fall through. They break up, you get back together. They break up, you get back together. They break up, you don't look back, and you move on with your life. Okay, that's the joke. That's a good joke. I like that joke. That was a nice joke. I've got insane. I'm sorry. Anyways, next interactive platform I'm going to show you is the oil canister. Now, the oil canister is seen in maps such as MM1 Oil Man, or basically any fire type map that loves to have fire weapons scattered about. And what this does, let's see here. Well, the angle doesn't really matter, but what this does is it provides a little platform for you to jump on to get to higher ground, or just as conveniently, it could be used to block a path. So I'm actually going to relocate these oil canisters over here to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Blocking a path. So we're going to walk over here, and you want to get to this path. It's blocking the E-tank. It's way over there. You can barely see it. Now obviously you could go through here, get the E-tank, but let's imagine both of these entry points are blocked by oil canisters. So you can't walk through them. So the only way to get through them is by destroying them. So shooting one of the oil canisters multiple times will cause it to explode, and that can trigger a chain reaction. That could be useful if you've got a row of oil canisters lying about. Just the same, if you had a fire weapon, such as Firestorm, you would only need to hit one of the oil canisters once to trigger a chain reaction. So I'm going to demonstrate that right here. One shot, one kill. And you open up the pathway, you get your E-tank. Ta-da! Really cool, really cool. Okay. Let's put that back there. And now, we move on to the next interactive prop, the fire pillar. The fire pillar, if I remember correctly, is also seen in fire-based maps. In the core, I know that MM1 Fireman uses it, and it requires a script to activate the fire pillars. So we're going to go here. We're going to give this little item a tag of 16. I'm going to place another fire pillar spawn. We're going to give that a tag of 17. Now, to explain how that works, we're going to go into the scripts right here, or script number 11, the fire pillar spawns. Now, after 3 seconds, the fire pillar spawns with a tag of 16, spawn fire. As it says right here, set actor state, 16, fire. Ta-da, pretty simple. 3 seconds later, the fire pillar spawns with a tag of 17 are also lit on fire. So we're going to copy and paste these fire pillar spawns multiple times, and then we're going to go to that section to see what I mean. Now, the wonderful thing about fire pillar spawns is that they can actually be frozen with ice-based weapons. So I'm talking about weapons such as Blizzard's, whatever weapon Blizzard uses, Ice Slasher. I can't remember the names of weapons right now, I'm sorry, but I'm sure it'll come back to me eventually as I demonstrate this gimmick for you. Now, usually these fire pillar spawns are used to protect precious, valuable items, such as that W tank, which isn't exactly that valuable, right? But let's just pretend it is. So we're going to have a Biceways, this Blizzard weapon here. I'm going to shoot the fire pillars. It causes the fire pillars to freeze. Temporarily, of course. After a while, the fire pillars start lighting on fire again. So let's see here. if I wanted to get that weapon without being harmed, just need to raise the ice pillars, get my W tank. Pretty simple stuff. You can see here, another ice-based weapon, Frost Wave, allows me to get out of that fire trap unharmed. Pretty cool stuff. Okay, now, last interactive prop I'm going to show you today is the fire trap. Fire traps are easy to set up. I mean, they're easy to use, but making a section that makes good use of a fire trap requires a bit of ingenuity. Just as we designed the section for high gravity, we need to design a section that makes proper use of fire traps. So as you can see, that's what I did before recording this tutorial. I went ahead and produced a little section that has a fire trap and has an E-tank as the reward. So I'm going to demonstrate how those work. Unlike the fire pillars, you cannot freeze the fire traps, which means you simply got to time your runs carefully or else you're going to be burned to death. So I'm going to walk carefully. Carefully. Ow, 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 ow. Now you might be asking yourself, was the risk worth the reward? Probably not. Maybe I could have made this trap a little bit shorter, but it's a demonstration of one of the concepts of risk and reward that makes maps entertaining, engaging, and thoughtful. So if somebody caught me trying to go for the sea tank, they could easily punish me by catching me at one of the entry points and then shooting me down. Of course, I could save myself if I just used the E-tank earlier, but that would negate the reward I risked my life for. So, again, this is what fire traps can be used for. That's what fire pillars can be used for. That's what oil spigots can be used for. If high gravity sections can be used for, low gravity sections can be used for instigating a risk and a reward situation, or making the player think about their next move carefully, keeping the player engaged. Okay? Good. Alright. Now, moving on from that, we're going to go with Windpads here. Now, remember when I joined the sectors a while back? Well, that has its benefit because that makes it convenient to assign a tag to these sectors all at once, simply by highlighting one sector, right-clicking one sector, just typing in one tag number. So tag number 80. Now, the only thing they need now is an item called actor enters sector. It's different from actor hits floor. It doesn't require the actor to land on the wind pad. It simply requires the player to be in the general area here. Be in this little area, or be in this little area, or be in this little area, or be in this little area here. So when the actor enters the sector, want to always execute a script. Script number, I think, is number 4. Nope. Number 5. Yes. Sector number 80. Height of, we're going to go with 160. So the wind pad will work from 32 to 192 pixels. And to look at the script that uses this, that generates this wind pad we see right here, what was it again? Yeah, script number 5. It basically takes the height, converts it into a floating point number first. And then it says, while the player is in the sector, if the player is below the fan height, and if the player is moving upward, then we give them a thing thrust scene. Then we thrust them even further up. So basically boost their vertical speed by 8 pixels per second or something like that. Else boost their vertical speed by 10 pixels per second. And as you can see, this value is set to 1 so that it adds on to your current vertical speed. So you could be, how you say, so you would start at maybe like -16 because you'd be jumping down onto the platform of the wind pad, and it quickly boosts you up from -16 to -6, from -6 to positive 4, and from +4 to +12 every 2 ticks. So it's going to launch you up very high rather quickly. Okay, so demonstrating that, we're going to walk all the way over here. And as you can see, Windpad gets you up to this platform right here, which has, let's see, let's get on this Windpad right. Okay, there we go. Get you onto this platform with Gravity Hold. It's a bit ironic, considering what Gravity Hold can do for players who are caught in the air, but again, it shows a risk and reward situation. That's right. It's weird. This texture is misaligned. That's my bad. But as you can see, it doesn't matter if we get onto this sector or if we get onto this sector. These sectors are all the same thing. Therefore, the script will always activate for each one of these sectors, regardless of which sector you enter, because we joined these sectors together earlier. So it's rather convenient to join sectors together. And if we wanted to change the height, or if we wanted to change how high these Windpads take you, all we'd have to do is just edit one item or one tag, just one value. It's rather convenient. I'm going to give this a height value 176. So 32 plus 176, if I remember my math correctly, means 208 pixels. So this platform will launch you 208 pixels into the air, relative basically, or 176 pixels into the air, relative from where you started. Okay. Flame pits. Flame pits are used in maps that, again, like to work with fire. So, if I remember correctly, MM1 Oil Man uses flame pits, and MM6 Flame Man uses oil pits. Although they assign different damage values to these pits. So to create a flame pit, start off with this oil pit right here, indicating, an oil pit. And then we're going to create map spots. So map spots with a tag of 21. Why do we have a tag of 21? Because it's a distinct tag. It's distinct from all the other tags used in this map. So tag 21 here, tag 21 here, tag 21 here. Oops. Alright. Assign a tag of 21 to all these map spots. And to make the process go a little bit faster, we could copy and paste these map spots, highlight, and copy and paste whatever we need. It's pretty simple, pretty convenient, and it saves us some time. Oops. Control, paste. Okay. And then we want one more item in this pit. When the actor hits the floor, we want to script. Let's see, I think it's script execute always, or script execute. I think it's script execute always. Script number 1, pit number 21. I want to assign the sector tag of 21. Now, you might think that may be enough, but we need to modify this little item right here really quickly. So in the Properties tab, you're going to look for a checkbox labeled dormant. You're going to check that checkbox, and then going to hit OK. Run through the script that causes the oil pit to work. We see here it checks if the first script checks if someone lit the pit, and if somebody has lit the pit, then we execute script number 2. We should do script 80. Okay. Number 1, pit number 21. So if somebody lit the pit, it's going to activate script 2. And script 2 basically changes the floor. Floor turns into lava basically. And it spawns flame pillars at each of the map spots here. And it stays lit for 10 seconds, because 10 seconds times 35 ticks per second equals 350 ticks. And then once that's done, the flame pits stop being lit. They'll stop doing damage to you. for 5 seconds. And then after that's done, the oil pits will be set to their original values, and you can light the whole pit on fire again. Start the whole process again. So, rather simple. Okay. Now, demonstrate that flame pit in action. See here, pit isn't lit on fire, so you can walk on top of this rather quickly, rather conveniently. But if we had like a flame weapon here, so like Firestorm for example, we just hit this pit with a fire weapon, and everything's lit on fire. And if you try to work through this pit, you're going to have a bad time. Oh wait, script execute always. Yep, I knew it was script execute always. Because you saw when I get into the pit, it doesn't actually hurt me. But I do want it to hurt me. Because that's what lava should do. It should hurt you. So give all. Light this pit on fire here. Good. Okay. When I try to light the pit on fire again, it won't let me. So I gotta wait till it's oil again. Light the pit again. On fire. Pretty simple stuff. Okay. Crushers. Crushers are relatively simple. It's all about designing a section around the crushers. So as you can see, I've already designed a crusher right here that hides a nice reward. Hard knuckle. Now, to produce crushers, all you need is one simple command. That's it. One simple command makes a simple crusher. It's right here. Ceiling, crush, and raise. So it says any sector with tag of 5 is going to rise up at a speed of 64, but then come crushing down at a speed of 256. And we're going to set the crush mode to 2 so that anything that does get crushed gets absolutely destroyed immediately. We're not talking damage over time. We're not talking about someone getting squished. No, they get insta-gabbed. Okay? So, demonstrate that sector in extra. I'm assuming that gimmick in action. We're going to assign that sector a tag of 5. Move our player spawn over there. Okay. And boot up the map. Okay, as you can see here, oh dear, I forgot to actually assign a texture here. That was my bad. Usually the sector you want to use to indicate a crusher is right here, Dust CRS1, basically. Put that up there. Okay. I'm going to boot up the map. And now it should look right. Ta-da! So you got to time your run very carefully unless you want to get crushed. Want that weapon? There you go. Time my run perfectly, and I didn't get crushed. And now I can use this weapon to beat up other people. Pretty cool. Okay. It's all about the risk and rewards, folks. It's all about the risk and rewards. All about keeping the player engaged, entertained, and on their feet. Waveboats doesn't keep people on their feet. It's kind of hard to design good layouts based around waveboats, but I feel that MM5 Waveman did a decent job. The original is probably a little bit better, but whatever. So to make waveboats, you already see the section we designed here. We designed a nice little pool just for the waveboats to wave around and Bodie McBoatface kind of thing. And we need a teleporter destination, which is where the player will go. Yep. Teleport destination, teleport Z height will work. Just going to give this a tag distinct from all the other tags, so maybe 60. Nah, I think I feel like I've used that. 80. Yeah, 80. No, we already used 80. Psh, I'm dumb. Let's try, well, actually, let's look at the tag explorer to see what tags we've already used. We've used tags 16 and 17. We've used tags 31 and 68. We've apparently we've used tag 21 multiple times. Let's see. Yeah, there is no other item with the thing ID of 80, but just to be safe, we're going to go give this one a tag of 71. Do the same thing over here. Oh, gotta make sure this points in the right direction as well. Same thing over here. Give this one a tag of 72. Okay. And then on top of this pipe right here, I'm going to plant an actor hits floor item that activates a script once the player hits the floor. Script executes. Script, I think, number 4. Nope. Script number 5. Nope. Script number 6. Nope. Script number 7. Yep. This one a tag 71. I mean, give the scripted argument of 71, which matches the tag here. Copy, paste that, so that we have to change one value here. Tag 72. Okay, matches with the teleport destination tag. Now, all we gotta do is put my spawn over here, and it should all work. So when I jump on top of the pipe, I get to spawn on top of a waveboat, and I get to wave around. As you can see, the waveboat allows you to move faster than normal, although it doesn't let you strafe as much as normal. And I think that's probably the fatal flaw of waveboats, is that you can't really strafe, and a lot of combat, a lot of firefights in the game usually require you to strafe, so trying to make firefights while only being able to point yourself in a single direction, it kind of lends itself into some problems. Usually, area of effect weapons like Power Stone or Rain Flush can be used relatively easily, but trying to aim weapons while trying to move in the same direction as you're aiming at usually results in somewhat unintuitive gameplay. Now, there's a problem with this waveboat, though, that you can use it to jump outside the pool and still go wherever you please. Oh my goodness. So to fix that problem, what we're going to do is going to highlight every sector here. Okay, go into line def edit mode, right click, and we're going to say when the player bumps against any of these line defs here, we execute a script that takes away the player's waveboat. I think that is script number 6. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Yeah, so script number 7. If you already got a boat, you're not going to be given another boat. If you already got Rush Jet, you're not going to be given a boat. Otherwise, you're going to be given a boat, and then you're going to be teleported to wherever you want. And then script number 6 basically says, do you already have a boat? Okay, you're going to get flung in the air, and I'm going to take your boat away, I'm going to take away your jump canceller, and take away the fact you're in a boat. So, it's pretty simple stuff. Okay? So, let's see. I'm going to run this map again, demonstrate what I'm talking about. So I crash into a wall here, get flung in the air. But now I get on this platform, and I can jump out, which is pretty simple stuff. So if I try to make my escape, I lose my boat because it explodes because it crashed against the wall. Pretty simple stuff. But again, good luck designing a good, intuitive, engaging, entertaining, and fun map around this, because I've yet to see one map do it well. Maybe one day I'll do it well. Maybe one day. Now the last concept I'm going to talk about is sleds. These are used in probably one map so far. Well, they're used in a couple of custom maps as well, but the way they work is similar to Waveboats. They give you a speed up boost that lets you move across the map faster, but you can't really strafe as much as before. So we're going to use the snowboard spawner here. And we're going to make sure we point it in the direction we want the snowboarders to go. So we want the players to go east. And we're always going to separate these snowboard spawners by 64 pixels so that it looks right. So I'm going to do it for that side, and we're going to do it for this side as well. Simply by right-clicking and hitting the Enter key. Okay, now boot up the map, go to the section with the snowboards, and look at that. Snowboarding around at the speed of sound. Got the places to go, dreams to follow. I forget the lyrics for that song, but one of these days I'm going to remember it. Now we encounter a few problems. One, if you're just turning a corner, you're going to be a bit surprised that you're going to be asked to jump. I mean, you're going to be a bit surprised by this big gap, and you might fall off. And if you do fall off, right, then look at that. You're still on the snowboat. That's not what we want. It's pretty cool, though. Okay, what we want is to take away the player's snowboard when they're somewhere, when they land on a spot they shouldn't be, or when they fall down. So to do that, we're just going to plant this simple item. Actor hits floor. Execute a script that takes away your snowboats. Let's see here. Action 80. Script number, I think it was number 5, number 3. Yeah, it must have been script number 3. Alright. Yep, take away your snowboard. Says, if you're on a snowboard, I'm going to take away your snowboard. Pretty simple. Alright. And we're going to plant this on all the sectors we don't want the player to be on, which can be pretty tedious, but this process can be sped up a little bit if you join sectors together, just as we did for the Windpad here. So, join these sectors together, join these sectors together, and just the same, you can copy and paste this wherever you want. Copy paste it again, very simple. Copy paste it again here, copy paste it again here. Drag, select, copy, paste. Well, actually, you could just join these two sectors here. Ta-da! And so now, when the player falls off or they go somewhere they shouldn't, such as onto this purple floor here, they should have their snowboard taken away. And it works. Works relatively well. Gotta try to sneak under here. They get their snowboard taken away. Try to make a cool jump all the way over here. Get their snowboard taken away. And we're gonna do this for all the sectors in the map where we don't want the player to snowboard on, which could be a pretty tedious job. So again, it's a good idea to design a map that doesn't have many sectors, or has a lot of similar sectors that you could join together to make the process a little simpler. Now, I talked to you guys earlier about what would happen about the issue of knowing when to jump. So what we can do to resolve that issue, simply produce a sign that tells a player to jump so that they don't fall off. This is the case in MM8 Frost, and the way it works, or the way it's activated, is relatively simple. Okay? So we're just going to go here. The direction does matter, so make sure that these line defs are pointing in the right direction. You can tell what direction they're pointing in by the little line that's sticking out through the middle of the line def. So let's tell all these line defs right here. We're going to execute script, repeatable action. When the player walks over the set line def, script number 4, which sign? Well, sign number 34. Well, what sign are we even talking about? Well, it's the sign I'm about to put right over here. Jump sign is what it's called. Let's hide it to 128. And then leave these map spots here with a tag of 34. I should have given the jump sign a tag of 44 as well, but I was a little bit lazy. And so what these map spots will do is they'll produce a sound telling you to jump, and the sign itself will flash bright colors to indicate that you need to jump. Assuming you give it the same tag. Tag number 34. So here we go. We're about to activate the sign. We're going to get on one of our snowboards, and hopefully the script will work. Yep. Tells us to jump. We didn't jump. We lost our snowboard, and we are sad. But we get our snowboard back. Jump as expected. And we're happy. Pretty cool stuff. Okay. So save our work, and that should be it. How long is this? 55, 56 minutes. Woo! It was a doozy, folks, but hopefully now you learned enough tricks to make good maps and learn enough about risk and reward in designing for certain situations to produce a map that is engaging, entertaining, and intuitive, and keeps the players on their toes. Now, if you want to look up other gimmicks, all you got to do is extract the map that has the gimmick, look at the code, preferably copy and paste it after understanding what it does, and looking at what items are needed to activate that script or activate that gimmick. But hopefully all these gimmicks here, along with the tips I've given you, will allow you to design a map that you can be proud of. And hopefully I've been a good teacher for all of this. So, my name is Alex Mendez. Some people call me Melinda. Some people call me Bluebrawl. But hopefully I'd like to be called a teacher. Teacher of maps. Alright, I'm being too silly. It's late. Hope you all have a wonderful night. God bless. Happy mapping.